Hi everyone, TomWasHere, back at it with something just a little bit different. You know, with my channel I try to do a wide variety of different content, and with the general uncertainty that is 2020 and seemingly beyond, going to places is going to be few and far between until, you know, everything ends up getting back to normal. So I'm looking for ways to put content out there of things that I can do from home and try to keep it interesting. The unboxing videos people seem to enjoy, but one of my biggest time wasters of when I watch YouTube is I'll watch stuff like WatchMojo. What WatchMojo does is they just compile lists. And why do people create lists? They create lists because everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's got a different opinion. And so the people that agree with you will be so thrilled that they agree with another human on something, and the people that don't agree will be like, this is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. But you're still getting feedback. You're still getting content out there. So I may be doing, this may be part of a new weekly series. I haven't decided yet about what I'm doing with this. But just, you know, just curious to see if people watch, if they comment, if they interact, because that's really what it's all about. I'm putting stuff out to you guys. You know, I have a modest following on here. You guys can decide whether you like it, whether you don't like it. You know, leave a comment, likes, all that stuff. So we'll see how this one goes. But part of the reason why I'm doing this is WatchMojo did a list of the top 20 Christmas movies. And they decided they weren't going to put what they call alternative Christmas movies on there. But then, during their list, they had stuff like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Grinch Stole Christmas, not the movie. These are not movies. Those are Christmas specials, TV Christmas specials no less. They didn't have a theatrical release, therefore they can't be a movie. And Children of the Future theater or theatrical release is when a group of people would go into a building and actually watch a movie together. I feel like that's going to be something lost on this future generation should you come across it. Because with HBO Max's decision, the movie industry may be streaming from, you know, this day forward. We'll see. I always like the theater experience, and hopefully we'll get a chance to go back to the theaters. But I've compiled a list here, and this is the top 10 of Tom Christmas films. These are my opinion. You don't have to agree. Isn't that great? The whole world where you don't have to necessarily agree with my opinion. You know, I'm going to put out what I feel is my top 10 Christmas movies. You can decide whether that's you agree or disagree with some of them, and leave a comment down below and let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Should this be on the list? Should this not be on the list? I want your feedback, and it'll determine whether I do future iterations of different lists. But I should mention, I wasn't going to do too many honorable mentions, but I will put honorable mention of It's a Wonderful Life. Everybody, you know, any list you see compiled of Christmas movies, It's a Wonderful Life is the greatest Christmas movie that's ever been. It's my mom's favorite Christmas movie. It's my mom's favorite movie. She would disown me as a child if I didn't mention It's a Wonderful Life. Now, for me, It's a Wonderful Life is a depressing film. It is super depressing. And to me, and up until the end, it's not super Christmassy either. You know, I do appreciate its impact. Jimmy Stewart, phenomenal performance, as other people in there, did not hit my top 10. And some of you that joined the great debate of what is or is not a Christmas movie may not like my top 10. Because I have technically alternative Christmas movies in my top 10. So, without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 10, Batman Returns. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Number 10 is Batman Returns. You might not realize. To be honest, I didn't fully realize. I haven't watched Batman Returns in a long time. And I went back and watched it this week, and wow, did I thoroughly enjoy it far more than I remember. It's also very Christmassy. Very Christmassy. One of the main set pieces is a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. When the penguin goes and starts attacking people, they come out in a giant Christmas present. There's mistletoe. There's Christmas trees. There's wreaths. There's holiday shoppers. It's a Christmas film. I don't care if your opinion is it's not a Christmas film. There is enough Christmas content in there. You know, what are the main focuses on what a Christmas movie is? Christmas presents, Christmas tree, Christmas music, Christmas references. It's all in there. And it's a great film. You know, I feel Michael Keaton took kind of a step back. Not saying as Bruce Wayne or Batman, but I didn't feel like he had as much to chew into, let's say, as the characters, you know, the side characters did. And the side characters are excellent. Danny DeVito is fabulous. He is fabulous as the Penguin. Michelle Pfeiffer is still the Catwoman. No one has beat her yet. She's great. Christopher Walken, who's phenomenal in everything. I'm a big Christopher Walken fan. He's terrific in this film. Everybody's great. And it's a good movie. And it's a Christmas movie. It's also the movie, in case you want to tell your friends, you know, you have that one friend that's super noble that goes, Batman doesn't kill people. Batman kills 2 people in this movie, for sure. Like, no doubt about it. You can look at this movie and go, like, yeah, Batman for sure kills 2 people. One of them, he kills with a smile on his face. And Batman doesn't smile all that much. He smiles and murders someone in this film. Go back and watch it. It's a delight. Okay. Now, number 9. Bad Santa. Bad Santa. Terrific. If you shied away from this movie, you thought maybe it's too vulgar, it's not for the kids. I will tell you. This one, not for the children. And truth be told, to go back to Batman Returns number 10, there's some stuff in Batman Returns that's not necessarily for the children either. You know, there's some risky stuff in Batman Returns, but, you know, it doesn't hold a candle to Bad Santa, of course. Billy Bob Thornton is phenomenal in this movie. And it's great. And does have that kind of like Christmas redemption type story. Everybody plays their roles so well, from Tony Cox, who's the elf, to the great John Ritter in his final performance, to one of the last performances of Bernie Mac. Sadly, Bernie Mac, you know, passed away, you know, not too many years after this movie as well. Phenomenal film, enjoyable film. Every time it comes on, I laugh. Like, it's a funny movie. Now, but it's dark. It is a dark film. But, you know, like I said, there is redemption in there, in that story. And, you know, you talk about Christmas references. He is a, you know, thief posing as a mall Santa. So there's mall Santas and malls. There's Christmas wreaths. There's Christmas decorations. There's Christmas singing. There's everything you can hook into a movie. It's a great film. And if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it again. Number 8 is The Ref. Now, some of you may have not heard of The Ref. You know, The Ref is Dennis Leary. He's a thief that attempts to rob a millionaire's house and ends up on the run and ends up kidnapping a married couple that is on the cusp of divorce. So they're fighting with each other, and, you know, hilarity ensues. It is another dark comedy. Dennis Leary is at the height of his powers. He is phenomenal. And the married couple is Judy Davis, who's known for her dramatic work, and, you know, that comes through here, and Kevin Spacey. Now, sadly, dearly departed Kevin Spacey. You know, he has not died, but his career certainly has. And watching a Kevin Spacey movie now is like watching a Chris Benoit wrestling match. You appreciate the craft that went into a performance, but there's something just not right about it anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, Kevin Spacey was so good at acting, still is, but he'll never be able to get that back. He'll never be able to get back what he had. And this was like an early Kevin Spacey, and he's phenomenal. Judy Davis is phenomenal. You fully believe that these people are in a marriage that they are just done with. And they're great. Every character plays their role phenomenal. And it's one of those things where, like, families get together on the holidays. The grandmother of the thing is hoarding her money over, like, the younger, you know, family. And so they're playing nice, but they kind of, like, deep down hate each other. Not really hate, but, like, they're just irritated by each other. And sadly, that's more family dynamic than, that's more of a true family dynamic than you get out of stuff like, you know, those like 60s era sitcoms and movies where it's like mother-made turkey, isn't that swell? Like, no, this is real-life family stuff. Now, it doesn't hit as close to being the real-life Christmas irritation that you can get from your family like another movie will on this list, but it's really good, and I suggest you go back and watch it. Number 7, Jingle All The Way. Jingle All The Way. Arnold Schwarzenegger playing your everyman dad. Not really a deadbeat dad, because he's there for his kid, but like, he's a workaholic, he doesn't see his kid much, and he's decided this kid wants the greatest toy ever, and he's decided he's going to get it for him. And so, you know, it's that whole thing of like buying your kids love. Now, as someone who is not in that position, but has attempted to get a PlayStation 5 for his son this year, I understand the sheer madness of going to store, going to website. Obviously, this movie's from the 90s. They didn't have that stuff, and just striking out left and right, trying to get this hot toy item. And that hits close to home, but it's a fun, it's campy as hell. I mean, there's a point where a bomb goes off, and it has like the black smoke in someone's face, and like their hair's on fire, like a cartoon. It's a campy movie. It is super campy, but it's fantastic. I watch it every year. Arnold's terrific in it. He's having a lot of fun. Sinbad at the height of his Sinbad powers. You know, people knock Sinbad. Sinbad's terrific. Sinbad's great. I always like Sinbad in just about everything. And Sinbad's great here. The great Phil Hartman is terrific in this movie. Everybody does a phenomenal job. Rita Wilson's fabulous as the wife. You know, certain people knock this for certain reasons, because it's campy, because it's silly. I enjoy it. I enjoy it every year. I watch it. I love it. It's the movie, you know, I'll run to, you know, when I'm not watching like the regular, you know, everybody has those regular favorites. Now, number 6, Scrooged. Bill Murray, the man, the myth, the legend that is Bill Murray, is terrific in this film. He's a tour de force performance of playing a TV executive that's doing a live-action Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve, when, you know, he gets Christmas Caroled himself, visited by 3 ghosts. You could put 9 million versions of the Christmas Carol on a list and say, this is this one, this is this one. But truth be told, they kind of run together. It's the same song and dance. So Scrooged, with Bill Murray as the, you know, as the bah humbug, you know, like, character. He's the one, like, this is the one that I watch more often than not. And it's got pretty good special effects in there, pretty good practical effects, pretty good makeup. Really, you know, for its time, it was an 80s film, holds up pretty good. Not too many scenes where you're watching, you're like, yeah, that special effect there really doesn't right. Or I said I think it comes through really well. I enjoy this movie a ton. I even like it so much, I want to watch the different movies that they put on when they're doing the promotion for the movies, and they have Lee Majors in The Night the Reindeer Died. I want to watch that movie. I want to watch Lee Majors' Santa's Workshop. Santa pulls out a bunch of like machine guns and stuff. But yeah, this movie hits all the Christmas points. Like I said, it's the Christmas Carol story, just revamped for a newer generation. And like I said, Bill Murray, you know, he'll make you laugh, he'll make you cry. He's great. He's so good in this movie. I can't express it enough. And surprising that it didn't hit my top 5, but because the top 5 are really, you know, really, really good, it did not. So, number 5, Elf. That's right, Elf. Will Ferrell, you know, love him or hate him. I'm surprised about the people that hate Will Ferrell. I think he's funny and everything, but Will Ferrell, he is great. This is the performance that will live on. You know, he's phenomenal as Buddy the Elf. You know, kind of and Will Ferrell's a giant human, so it's funnier. He's like 6'4", 6'5", but so it's funnier to see him in situations where he's like with the other elves and like the classroom and stuff like that. You know, he doesn't belong there. But it's terrific all around. Jon Favreau, one of the greatest directors. You know, if you watch Iron Man, of course, The Mandalorian most recently. The guy's incredible. You know, I watched him since, you know, my friend showed me Swingers way back when. And I like him as an actor. I love him as a director. He's great, but this is the one that this Elf will like live on as like one of the greatest Christmas movies ever. So he's a bit modern compared to some of the other ones, but it's such a good movie. It hits what other movies that attempted to hit, like Fred Claus or Santa Claus the movie, or, you know, different movies that tried to, you know, catch the Santa aura, just never really hit. Even the Santa Claus, like, it didn't get the same vibe as Elf for me. You know, you may have a different opinion, but I love Elf. Number 4, Home Alone. That's right. Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Catherine O'Hara, John Candy. Home Alone. Home Alone is that, you know, one of those movies I grew up with, you know, in the sense that, you know, I think we were around the same age, roughly. I was around the same age as Kevin McAllister when Home Alone came out. Roughly around the same age. Now I'm aging myself a bit. But, yeah, so obviously, you know, you see an 8-year-old kid, you know, taking care of these burglars, stuff like that. But it's a really good movie. I could easily have put, like, Home Alone 2 on there, but Home Alone 2 is the same, like, recycled thing. Not saying it didn't have its moments. It does, including the addition of Tim Curry, who's great and everything. But the original Home Alone is the one that hits it for me. It's also steeped in a level of realism that Home Alone 2 is not. I mean, Home Alone is not super realistic, but it's far more realistic than Home Alone 2. But the idea that, you know, he sets up all these elaborate things to trap these burglars in a house versus a giant city like New York, and somehow is able to find them in this labyrinth. Have you ever been in New York City? There are people, like you, I remember they let me off the bus one time, it was me and my wife, and we were like children. We were like, okay, we're here now, who's going to help us? It is like a labyrinth. Like, it's an unreal, unbelievable sized city. So the fact that him and the burglars could find each other in the city, and like, that's just the most absurdist thing to me. Not saying it's not a great movie, it is, but Home Alone is phenomenal. You have John Candy in there as just a random role. Him and Catherine O'Hara back from the Second City's SCTV days. And John Candy's performance, they said, was filmed in one day, one 18-hour day. And, you know, it's kind of like that sub-B plot of the film, but still funny to see him in there. He's great in everything. But Macaulay Culkin, you know, this is a star-making performance, and rightfully so. He's great in it. Pesci and Daniel Stern are terrific in it. Everybody does such a good job. Obviously, it's one of those movies, you know, I don't have to explain it to you. You've seen it. It's got to be on one of your top 10 Christmas lists, I would assume. But it's one of my favorites of all time, and I run to it every year. Number 3, Christmas Story. Oh, Ralphie Parker and the quest to find an official Red Ryder carbine action 2-inch shot range model air rifle. Yes, the quest to get a gun. The funny thing about A Christmas Story is you can watch A Christmas Story and it's a kid, and you're like, yeah, he wants a BB gun. Like, he wants of course he wants a, I want a BB gun. I'm a boy, I want a BB gun. And then you watch it as an adult, and you're like, yeah, he's going to shoot his eye out. Like, don't get him a BB gun. And then, you know, what happens, you know, when he immediately shoots his eye out, because parents are right more often than not. But everybody's phenomenal in this. You know, they've tried to sequel this. They've tried to do it in different ways to try to capture that magic. And, you know, the sequels and the remakes and the live performances are never going to match the original. And the original was a flop movie. Like, when this movie came out, this was not a good film. People just bash this movie and they're like, this is not good. But it's a phenomenal movie. You know, one of those staples. TBS plays it 24 hours a day. You have to watch it. You have to watch it at least some here and there. You know, set in the 40s? 30s? But obviously, you know, some of the main points hit home. You know, you can't go anywhere without seeing a leg lamp or, you know, kid in a bunny suit, or, you know, it's one of those staple Christmas movies. Definitely something that, you know, I have to watch every year. Number 2, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. My favorite Chevy Chase performance by far. You know, you could put Vacation in there, or Caddyshack, or a couple other movies, but Christmas Vacation does it for me. As anyone who's been, you know, the frustration of trying to put on a good Christmas for your family is, you know, trying to do everything you can and having it blow up spectacular in your face is a truly, you know, to any, like I said, father that tried to deliver and it just never works out, or you try to do something and it just doesn't, the sheer frustration that goes into that hits far too close to home. Dealing with in-laws and family coming in and, you know, trying to, like, juggle it all together, trying to put on a Christmas and having things not work out. Man, that hits, it hits very close. It hits very close. You know, to home as someone who has experienced something like that. You feel that way. You feel like it's like, oh, you know, it's nothing works out, but you wanted to so bad and you just can't. But obviously hilarity ensues, you know, with Cousin Eddie, Randy Quaid coming in. Everybody in the family plays their role perfectly, is like nagging, getting along. The grandparents falling asleep in front of the TV. The grandmothers bickering. I've never experienced that myself, but I mean, I've seen situations and stories and things like that. But all in all, it's a can't miss movie. Have to watch it every year. It's that level good. But not my favorite. It's only reserved for one spot. And if you know me, you already have this answer. But for those that don't, it's the greatest Christmas story ever told. Number one. That's right. Die Hard. Die Hard. Die Hard. You bet. Don't give me your lip about whether you think Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It is 100% a Christmas movie. You want Christmas cheer? It's got it. You want Christmas references? It's got it. You want Christmas music? Yep. You want Christmas trees? You got it. You want Christmas greetings? You have it. Anything that constitutes your thoughts on a Christmas season, with the exception of snow, Die Hard has it. It's also phenomenal. It is the perfect action movie. I just had a conversation recently of someone who, you know, I said Die Hard is kind of lost on people that didn't watch, and this is that way for a lot of movies. It's lost on people that didn't necessarily grow up with that, because people that haven't grown up with Die Hard have seen watered down versions of Die Hard. They've seen Under Siege, they've seen Under Siege 2, or Sudden Death, which I happen to love, but it's Die Hard. White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen, which is Die Hard. There's so many versions of Skyscraper that The Rock just put out as Die Hard. So many different worse versions of the movie than the movie itself. And so when they've seen it, it's like old hat to them. They're like, oh, we get it. It's that. But the problem is, this movie did it the first. This movie did it the best. And it's not even comparably close. Alan Rickman, his first movie that he ever did, he's phenomenal in it. Bruce Willis as the everyman, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's like this intimidating presence, just like a regular guy in an impossible situation, saving the day. It's a perfect film. Everybody plays their roles phenomenally. It works on every level. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's my favorite movie of all time. Not just my favorite Christmas movie, my favorite film of all time. I named my son after this film. It's that level good. I love this movie. I will continue to love this movie, and I must watch it every year. Because not only is it that good, I know every line of dialogue from this film. I've seen it that many times. I may have seen it 1,000 times. I mean, I've seen it so many times. Yet I'll still watch it every year. And every year you appreciate how good it is. At least for me. So there's no debate here Die Hard is absolutely, positively, 100% a Christmas movie. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you don't think so. But you are wrong. And that's fine. That's why people make lists. But that'll wrap it up. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this list. Let me know what you would remove from my list and put on your list. Or just give me your top 10 list in the comments. Also, if you're still watching, let me know what list you'd like to see me tackle next. If it's something that gets a ton of views, gets a lot of interest, maybe I'll start putting out, like I said, weekly top 10s, if I get some feedback on this. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the description below. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, sweatshirt, hat, anything you like, Spreadshirt, link in the description below. Those links to my Instagram, eBay store, new Facebook page. I really haven't put too much on my eBay store, but it's up there in case you need it. But that'll wrap it up. Top 10 Christmas movies. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what list you'd like me to make. But my name is Tom, and that's the list. Thanks for watching, like, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.